talk to you later.
Yep. Hi, guys. Talk to you later. So I have a message today, you guys, and I have a message. So as I was sitting here, and I realized that there is something that needs to be shared. There's a logic to your madness. There's a logic to the way you move. There's a logical understanding to why you do what you do, and that's okay. Logic means the study of correct reasoning. So, thank you, God, for confirmation. There's a logic to your madness. There's a logical stage as to why you move the way you move. It don't have to be explained. It don't have to be understood, because the right people will understand the logic to your madness. When I got that word or that title, there's a logic to your madness, God led me to Proverbs chapter 24 verses 23. Here are some, it's wise teachings. Anybody that read the Bible, you can get a lot of wisdom from there that relates to the life that we live now. Taking sides in court is not good. A curse will fall on those who say the guilty are not guilty. When a person is wrong and you know a person is wrong, go with that. You know what I mean? And I'm saying in the sense of when you've always been proven right, when God is always proving you right. I'm not talking about the individual who be wrong about people because you done been hurt or because you've been traumatized and you can't see the right or wrong in other people. You just count everybody and putting them all in the same box in the space. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about the people that because you've been hurt so much that everybody you come across, you think everybody gonna hurt you. I'm not talking about the people that can't seem to understand that they're hurting people's feelings, and when somebody tell you that you hurting their feelings, you feel like you're right. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who have gone through the growing and testing and knowledge of knowing that maybe I am wrong. You know, the person that can stop and think like, say, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm looking at the situation a little not in depth, or I'm looking at the situation wrong. So, you know, I need to get some clarity because I don't have all the information to be able to give me a logical answer or a truth to make me understand that, you know, I'm wrong. Taking sides in court is not good. A curse will fall on those who say the guilty are not guilty. If you know a person wrong, a person is wrong. And don't feel like you shouldn't have to speak up about that. It just may cause and ruffle some feathers, but at the same time, you could be used for the reason and being of getting that person to see what God has been always trying to get them to see by using you as a vessel. Thank you, Funhouse. Nations will call down curses on them. Everybody who continue to pray to somebody when they wrong, that's definitely coming back to the individual who can't see the logical truth and what's right and wrong. People who speak against them, but it will go well with those who sentence guilty people. Just know what goes around comes around. So there will be a time where you will be proven wrong. Those people that I speak of that says, no, they ain't wrong. Knowing smacking somebody in the mouth is wrong. Why would you allow that person, that man, to smack that girl in the mouth and you just sit there and not do nothing? One, because you don't want to get involved. If your gut telling you not to get involved, don't get involved, because you don't know the karma that that person deserved to have. But if you got an inkling in your spirit that say, no, that's wrong, you need to stand up, that's exactly what you need to do. You know the difference of right and wrong. Sometimes you just gotta input yourself, because it's going because of a tear down of some structure needs to be in place when you rebel and go against the norm of what other people feel is valuable. You have to understand that. You have to understand that there's a logic to your madness. Definition of logic. The definition of logic is reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. I'm hearing, what is validity? Validity is the quality of being based on truth or reason, or of being able to be accepted. Accept that God made you different. Accept that you're going to have people fall off because you stand in your truth. If you continue to be honest and you continue to be righteous, God will vindicate you. All the people that may have been wrong about you or speaking bad about you, God will let them see your character. God will show you that you were not wrong about how you felt. Even if godly people fall down 7 times, they always get back up. So just remember that. That is in the book of Proverbs. Even if many people decide to come against you, hey, come supporter. Hit that like button on the way in. I thank you for those that have. Even if people say you're this and that, or when people come up against you, God said, even if godly people fall down 7 times, they always get back up. But those who are evil are brought down by trouble. So the same thing that was casted upon you because you're doing good will also fall back into the hands of the person who started it, of the person who did what they did, the person who did or said what they did, the person who led all those people to a ruin. It say, let the king say to you, come up here. They will get dealt with. You just got to continue. Hey, Gator Boy. Hey, hit that like button on the way in, y'all. I appreciate it, so that somebody else can come see the message. It helps spread the message on the likes and views, so that somebody that really need to hear this can surely tap in to when they need to tap in. It say, don't be upset because of evil people. Don't long for what sinners have. Tomorrow, evil people won't have any hope. Behind closed doors, it all falls down. In front of other people, they can keep a smile. But it all falls down, the troubles that comes. You know you're right. Keep being righteous. You may not see no reward for that, but in the right timing, it will come. You just got to be patient and keep showing up. It's somebody right now saying how special you are, how smart you are, how intelligent you are, how creative you are, how brilliant you are, how strong you are. If you just keep showing up in the right timing, it will pop up and show. God will show that and reveal that. Don't say, I'll do him what he did to me. I'll get even with that man for what he did. Don't do that. Because if you have a purpose on your life for you to be the bigger person and you step outside of that, you're going to get it faster than the person that you're trying to get. Because God sees you as a higher vessel of purpose and knowledge. You notice you have the right type of tools to be able to turn the other cheek, because that's what you was taught. And you feel like at this time, and I'm talking to somebody, if you feel like at this time that you've always turned the other cheek and it always not work in your favor. See, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. You don't see what God is doing ahead of you. You don't see what God is planning and doing. It might seem like troubles keep finding you, but that is the way of what it's supposed to be be able to get you where you need to be able to get you to see that you grown, you smart, you intelligent, you are of purpose. There's a logic to your madness. That's where I'm at now, Gator Boy. Yeah. So if you at that point, don't feel like the day is not gonna come when the smoke clears, because God is using and setting up the right timing for you to be able to see that. You gotta have trust in God. Have trust in the abilities that He's given you, because you are so different. Have trust in the abilities to know that He blessed you to be able to stand, because you're not weak, you're strong. Be able to look back and say, dang, I made it. Dang, I did that. Dang, I did make it. I put in all that work, and I was able to get to this house. I was able to get to this place. God said, don't hide and wait like a burglar at a godly person's house. Don't take down the people that are being praised for them always being seen. They always seem to get the light. What you're being tested and where you're being tested is, can you be happy for somebody else when things is against you? It say, I went past the field of someone who didn't want to work. I went past the vineyard of a man who didn't have any sense. Thorns had grown up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds. The stone wall had fallen down. I applied my heart to what I observed. I learned a lesson from what I saw. You might sleep a little or take a little nap. Then you will be poor, as if someone had robbed you. You will have little, as if someone has stolen from you. And this is what we have to go through. And if you're at this point, you feel like, man, you just want to give up, don't. Because there's a big blessing coming to you in the form of change. And this is what God is trying to get you to do, to change. When you are reviewing this live, I see you, Lord. When you are reviewing this live, this is just confirmation to don't give up being a good person. Don't give up being sweet. Don't give up doing what you're supposed to do. Do not give up the logic to your madness. Your reasoning as the way you do things. And I'm not saying it in the sense of, if you treating people bad because everybody treats you bad, you supposed to treat them bad. No. You move accordingly to the people who don't have the understanding that you can see right through them. And that's what you're supposed to continue to keep walking in. If you can see bull from a mile away and you trust that it is what you see, keep doing that, because you've been tested all the way up until that time to understand that's the way you're supposed to be. Wow, I needed to hear this. It's a reason why God called me here. You are who you're supposed to be. And you're learning that the more that you can trust that your actions are important, that the more you can trust that your actions are logical and they have a meaning, keep moving. Because God is going to continue to show you that you're not doing nothing wrong. I put you through all those tests because I needed you to see that they had bad intentions for you. I needed you to see that you're not supposed to be that nice to that person or people like that. Not everybody deserves the same type of you. And that the logic of how you reasoning with things in the sense of not take it from yourself is very important, and you need to stand your ground on that. It say, don't rob his home. Don't take from him because he took from you. If it's deserved that he's supposed to get what you are offering or receiving or giving back out, then it's necessary for it to be that way, because there's a logic to your madness. There's a logic to why you move the way you move. The way you don't care about how people can fade off. You're not like most people. You don't have to care about people being there, because God has shown you that you're strong enough to do for yourself. You're strong enough to be able to carry that house. You're strong enough to be able to stay at that job. You're strong enough to know that you can take care of them kids, because God is going to provide a way for you. You're strong enough to know that your mentality is very smart. You're strong enough to know that. You're smart enough to know that, because you've been tested and tried. And many people would say, why do you put too many people towards why do you put people through so many tests? Because God is always constantly putting me through a test. It's the way of the world, meaning not of the world, but you being in the world is helping you understand that you're being used for a purpose without even knowing the astrological extent of how you're being used. In psychology, astrological validity refers to the extent to which research finds can be generalized to real-world settings and situations. It assesses whether the results of a study or it assesses the results of a study are applicable to everyday life, and whether the experiment conditions accurately reflect the circumstances of the target population. There's many groups of people, and by you moving differently, you can't fall in most categories, because the way you move is supposed to be the way you move. Wisdom is too high for anyone who is foolish. They can't seem to see why you do what you do, because it's not meant for them to see the logic to your madness. Let them fall off. It's meant for them to fall off. And the right timing, would you stand in your ground, they'll make their way back, if it's meant, if it's the will of God for you. God want to bring some of you to the point, most of you, and it say finish your outdoor work. Continue to move through the still waters that run deep within you. The logical approach and the way you move is leveling you up and setting boundaries in places you never had logical, commutable understanding to get or have. That's the way you move, the way you move. Lord, I hear you, the way you move. It's all about the way you move. There's a logic to your madness. Not everybody is meant to understand that. Don't be happy when your enemy falls. You're not that type of person. You're not the type of person that'll gossip about what happened to somebody who you know was doing you wrong. You're not happy that they had to suffer. That's what makes you different. That's why you keep being blessed. God said continue to be that way. That's why he keeps showing you it don't feel good to put somebody else down because they went through something that you never experienced, or because you understand the logic of if I laugh at that person, it can happen to me too. Because you understand that logic, you won't move the way they move. And God keeps showing you or bringing people to you that will gossip about somebody because they don't like that person. He keeps showing you that that's the way you different. That's what made the logical approach to the way you move so magnificent and brilliant. The logical approach to how you see things from your very eyes is going to help the right person at the right time. Yes, nurse and co-workers. Lord knows. A wise person warning is a wise person warning to a listening ear is like a gold earring or jewelry made of fine gold. A messenger trusted by those who send him is like cool snow at harvest time, because they can count on you to communicate in the way that you always communicated. They're going to keep coming back to you. They're going to send people to you, not of their fruits. Exactly. God say monitor the fruits of others, not saying because they got 1,001 followers that they speak in, but the fruit and how they carry themselves. Are they patient? Are they kind? How do they treat people? Do you know the lake of fire? Yeah. That's the book of Revelation. Symbolizes a place of external punishment for the wicked. And that's the only thing that see. That's what separates you from the people. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that you don't know your wrongdoings. You can pretty much look at yourself and say, yeah, I was probably wrong about that. And you feel remorse. Breed of a person. And if somebody can experience that brilliantness about you, that kindness about you, that loving part or piece or place of you, then that is helping somebody else grow. Don't change. And say that. The right word at the right time is like golden apples and silver jewelry. When someone's asking you something and you cannot find the words to be able to communicate the logic to the way you move, it's not share that part of you, because that piece of part of you can be used in a manipulative way if given to them to understand that logic ear. If you do, someone might hear it and put you to shame. Then no one will ever respect you again. It's not meant for you to share certain things. Not being able to show many different parts of you or explain the logic to your approach to people who you know might not, you want to communicate, but they haven't unlocked in certain keys and depths of your logic to understand that up on portion of you. So that's why when you find yourself being tripped up on not being able to explain something to somebody, it's not that you don't want to. It's because the spirit within you is protecting you from putting yourself in the way of the wrong ear. Nice. Even though they coming off helpful. Even though they coming off as if nothing, you have no proof in the physical that they are going to bring some harm to you, but your spirit, the spirit you carry, because of so many tests you done went through, is putting a warning factor up. Do not tell that person. You're not going to be able to tell that person, because God will block you from hurting you, self-sabotaging you. You've already been there, done that. Everybody are assigned angels to watch and guide over them, spirits of the unknown that are assigned to you. They've mastered you as well as you mastering yourself, but teaching you in the lake of fire. The lake of fire, because you done got punished enough for your wrongdoings. You done went through what you need to go through in order to be able to see. You don't need to behave in certain ways. You don't need to talk to certain people. Your work, hey Frankie, your work speaks for itself. I'm with you, Lord. Only Jesus judges. That's right. At least that's how it's supposed to go. But if you remember, Jesus is in you. You've been baptized in his name. So you're going to do some judging to know that them people ain't right. You're going to judge. You need to judge. But just remember, when you point one finger, you got three pointing back at you if you're not seeing the logic of you being wrong. Or you don't see the physical evidence of you being wrong. Jesus is all. That's right. So, so Jesus says, do not judge according to the appearance. Don't judge a book by its cover, but judge with righteous judgment. We are supposed to judge. But if you can't take the speck out your own eye, and or you can't see the speck in your own eye, you can't see your own wrongdoing, how can you judge somebody else about what it is that they're doing if you can't see that you've been plainly wrong about the person? We are supposed to judge righteously. Yes, Christians are called to judge with righteous judgment. This means judging actions and beliefs based on God's standards according to religious websites or religious uh, structures that's placed in boundary in plain view. If you know that person not right for you, the spirit of you will not allow you to overstep the boundaries Jesus has placed in you. Jesus, if you've been baptized in his name, you have the spirit of him. Oh, Jesus is Lord. You understand the truth between a lie. You can understand that they not doing right in their lives. You can see that. Discernment keeps you from knowing, or keeps you from acting in the truth of a lie. You can surely be led through the right ways of behaving with the right type of judgment. Definition of judge. You can judge by somebody's character where their life gonna end up based off of the way they move. We are supposed to judge. We're supposed to judge the actions of other people. They not doing right. They leading down. They're going down the wrong path. And if they don't stop, they're gonna hit a brick wall. Judge means a public official appointed to decide cases in the court of law. Now, let me say this, because God, when I first got here, God led me to chapter 24, verse 23 in the book of Proverbs. These are wise teachings. Taking sides in court is not good. A curse will fall on those. A curse will fall on those who say the guilty are not guilty. You know they've been stealing from the company for years. You telling me you don't see that? They right because they got people behind them. That's wrong. And you gonna surely get what you deserve for falling into the same category as everybody else. It's gonna all fall down. Error of your ways. So, the phrase error of your ways in the Bible refers to a straying from God's path, righteous, doing the right thing, a deviation from truth and righteousness. It often implies a need for repentance and turning back to God's will, the will of God for your life. It say, don't rob his home. Don't take from somebody because you don't like them. Because it will surely come back to you in the times when, even if you got or see a person that have a whole lot of help, they got a whole community behind them, you gonna need help. Because he leading the blind. They all gonna fall. Because that person have powerful influence to do the right thing, but yet they got so many people that are blindly to a ruin. and led. Once those people wake up at the right time, if they are the type of grow or wants to change, they gonna turn on that person. They gonna see the truth behind the lie, seeing that the truth was the lie. I'm hearing you, Lord. I'm hearing you, Lord. Oh, God. So, God led me to Genesis 38 and 9 and 10. Describes a situation where Onan is fulfilling the liberate law, intentionally spilling his seed on the ground during intercourse with his wife, his brother's wife, Tamar, to prevent her from conceiving a child. The Bible states that this act will get in the sight of God and that he killed Onan. Uh, Stipulated that if a man died without a hair and raise up the son. And but you next up to be the favorite. You next up to be you're next up for the next up to take always do things the right way. So what that you're so thorough? So what that you always want to make sure you got everything. Don't never feel like because you're doing the right thing that because you put all God you all do. Don't remember comes out of your and that you not that you are very in control of the way you control your emotions. You are very controlled. You don't lash out on lash out on somebody because somebody did something to you and you felt it in your spirit to put them in. You try the best you can. Like place. Turn around. I'm almost finished. You wasn't wrong for putting people in their place. You wasn't wrong for speaking up for yourself. You wasn't wrong for going ahead and telling them that no, this is not right. You're not wrong. Because if you didn't have the cojones to be able to, the courage, the strength to be able to embrace some type of change or put in place of change or strategy, then it would have continued to keep making you uncomfortable. Sometimes your spirit not going to be comfortable until you do something that you would. A wise person's warning to a listening ear is like a gold earring or jewelry made logic to your reasoning. There's a there's a logic to your madness. The stone wall had fallen down. I applied my heart to what I observed. I learned a lesson from what I saw. So this is the live. For those of you that hit that like, share, subscribe button, I appreciate you. This is going to help somebody that need to come and see the message. For all my subscribers, I appreciate you. Um, look into the description box. For anyone who would love to be a member, please go to the details of my page. It's listed below. Um, go to my page. You'll be able to get added as a member. I pray this truth enlightens you and open up your eyes to know that you are special and that who you are is magnificent. And you didn't go through all you had to go through for no reason. And the fact that you can go through all you've gone through and not change who you are, life. We're supposed to do that. But you can't. I'm about to read this Bible verse. What is it? The right way. Okay. Yeah, this is it. God was telling me. You hit I, and then you will see you doing wrong yourself. How can you judge somebody else if you can't see the wrong that you doing? You got skeletons in your own closet you ain't cleaned out, but how you gonna judge somebody else about with the skeletons that they or have courage to speak or that we are supposed to you can righteously accept somebody if God have mercy on you, have mercy on them. Okay? Do not be joined to unbelief. What do right and darkness be friends? How can Christ and Satan in common? How does a believer have it? How can the temple of the true God? What, what we are the temple of the living God. God has said, I will live with them. I will walk among them. I will be their God. And they will be my people. Into the same category as somebody else. You can't be over there gossiping with these people when God is saying, no, stop doing that. It's called you to speak up. It's not cool. To change. That's what separates us. You're supposed to be the example so that way they can you change. That's why God needs you. What you're doing. You keep showing up. It's going to show somebody your skills. They're judging you right. Let's just say we got one. You don't nobody. You don't talk to nobody. You to the crowd. You not smoking. You not drinking and going out and partying with your life. But you got this one person that's looking at you like, dang, they go to school. Dang, they putting in that work. They got their head down. They doing everything they supposed to do. You can motivate somebody just by you being you. You can motivate somebody else to be like, dang, I should go back to school. When they look up and see that you got thousands in the bank, which they may not even know, but they can only assume. They see you going to school. They see you working. They see you got your head down. They see you got nice clothes. They see you don't flex. They see you don't speak to certain people. They see you showing up at the job every day. They see you doing what you're supposed to do. That can motivate somebody else that won't. Instead of them going into the crowd where they smoking, they drinking, and I'm not saying that's bad. But what I'm saying is going down the wrong path. You need to continue being the example that God needs you to be so that you can motivate somebody else to either follow behind you. Because they might have never seen somebody doing what you're doing. So you need to keep doing what you're doing. You need to keep speaking up. You need to keep judging people in the righteous way, because you know that's not aligned with the path that you're walking on, because that's not what God had for you. You have to. So this person watching you, hey, spiritual spark, this person watching you, they seeing you don't talk to certain people, because you know that if you talk to certain people, you gonna be lazy. You're not gonna show up on time. You're gonna be wanting to call off just to hang out. You're gonna be uh sitting up there gossiping all day, getting in trouble, being loud and ghetto. You know that's not the way you're supposed to be carrying yourself. Judge righteously by knowing, like, no, that's not the right type of people I need to be around, because they not going on the path that I'm going in life. They might got cars, they might got jobs where they just stayed and had people behind them and they leveling up in that way, but they not gonna get twice as far as you are when you're moving by yourself. They need people, you don't. God has shown you you don't need to be codependent on nobody to get to where you're going, because you're gonna make it there if you keep your head down. Sacrifices. Keep making those righteous judging sacrifices. What is it? The logic. They don't understand the logic to your madness. They don't understand why you keep going. They don't understand why you smart, why you want to read, why you want to be around certain people, why you want to be by yourself. There's a logic to your madness. They don't understand that why you don't like them. You don't think nothing wrong with them. They just not the type of people you want in your company. They not the type of people you will hire. No judgment intended in an unrighteous way, but in a way that will move you and pull you to a whole nother level of life, a whole nother growth. You get ahead when you by yourself. It say we speak the truth. We serve in the power of God. We hold the weapons of godliness in the right hand and in the left. You can weigh the pros and cons, knowing if I don't go to work, I ain't going to eat. If I don't speak up, I'm not going to get the justice that I deserve. If I don't stay away from them people that always just cook all day and eat and play all day and play cards, it's fun. It's fun. But if you don't separate yourself, you're going to fall into the same category of mindset of those people that not going down the same road you're going. You got to be able to judge righteously. See, there's a logic to your madness. It say, but people treat us as if we are pretenders. We are known, but people treat us as if we are unknown. You are known by God and people just like you. But to the average eye of those who fit and go along to get along, you're no. And the minute they look up, that nobody that they have judged wrong will be somebody at the appropriate time when you leveled up to the master of getting a high position. And they're still low. And they're still there because they're comfortable. You wasn't. Continue to be uncomfortable. Continue to want more. Continue to speak up. Continue to keep showing up every single day, because those 5 or 6 years that you feel you haven't been known, baby, you're going to be known. Sometimes it takes God to remove the enemies or the demonic forces out of the positions that they have. See, they weren't always like that. Some people lose the enthusiasm for life because they didn't got to a certain point in their lives. You don't. God has tested you to see and know you're not comfortable even when you're at the top. You're not wrong even when you speak up. You can hold your cool and your peace many times, many years. So now he can level you up. Those he had put in position it wasn't because they didn't deserve it, because they went down the same path that you went down, but somewhere lost and went down the wrong road. Somewhere lost and gave up on doing what was righteous because they seen that being unrighteous got them further and kept them in the spot. You're different. Continue to be that way. It says we have nothing, but we own everything. All you got to do is speak up, put a prayer in, do is talk to the right person. God will line you with the right person with the right thoughts to be able to speak up at the right time. Depending on your spiritual growth with God. Not because of the fruits and the way you work, but the fruit of your spirit. The fruits of your spirit has been tested and tried. Not because you got so many people standing behind you or you know the right people, but because you are tested and tried to know that the fruits that you have been always not manipulating, fruits of which you have always consistently showed up in, now needs to be rewarded. But do not be joined with unbelievers. People that level up because they got people. And you see those same people protecting that one person, knowing they ain't doing their job right, knowing they just not right. God will continue to show you that with your very eyes to see if you're going to change. Because even if you don't level up in that spot, he have another spot in place where you will. Do not be joined to unbelievers. What do right and wrong have in common? What do right and wrong have in common? Do not touch anything that is not pure and clean. God needs you to show up to be different because there's not many people that he can count on to be that. You need to be the example. Might seem like a big job, but when you keep walking and seeing the logic, I'm hearing you guys, the truths behind what you can't see physically or with your very eye, you see in spirit, you will know and trust. All right, okay, I'm doing it right. So just pay attention to that. We have everything. We have nothing, but we own everything. God bless you too, Joel. Blessings to you. Hi. Do not touch anything that is not pure and clean. You've been doing good so long. It's not going to work out for you because you've been doing good. You go to somebody else's house. You're going to get caught because God's showing you that's not the way you're supposed to be. Which is not a bad thing when you're seen by God, when you're being put in the right places, but with God or by God. Okay, don't get tired of that. God, if God haven't changed the situation for you, He trying to help you see it from a different perspective. He trying to get you to not be mad and sad or feeling like you're not getting nowhere. The minute you change the way you view the alignment and where God, so we want to take, always you remember that. Change. Even if you don't have a blueprint, you to be good. Since it's good, expect what make you better. When God thinks you're see you as being spiritual and moved the way other people move, because God see you as a higher version of intelligence. There's a spirit for your replacing. And okay, there's a logic. Sweet wrong. Most of us don't do that. That's not what God wants you to do. Do not overextend yourself because you want somebody to see you the way you see yourself. The right people see you, and they are being worked on to have the same type of courage that you have. And in the right time, you will be raised up. Make room for you speak up to the right people at the right time. If anything wrong, we haven't caused valuable. Have to. We haven't taken advantage of anyone. Say or do I have an important play with you. I'm very happy. Troubles. My job has no limit. All I learned you to I love who you are. You continue art. You trust words and say and speak it out loud. You will see. I've been always watching. Me, I just want you to be a little bit more specific. Level, but on the level where you've always been. Say, oh, I got a romantic. Oh, but I'm talking about. You don't think that's love that is. Because you've always made his okay heart glad, brought his spirit to show here. Okay, when I came to, I wasn't able to rest. I was attacked no matter where I went. I had battles on the outside and fears on the inside. God comforts me when the Titus came. You see how God worked through people. I'm reading out of Second Corinthians. This was Paul's joy. I'm reading out of 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 5. But God comforts those who are sad. He comforted me when Titus came. I was comforted not only when he came, but also by the comfort you had given him. That's so powerful. You see why God needs you to continue to be or continue to keep showing up. You see why? Because you can help somebody else when you don't have the strength to be able to help yourself. He will send somebody. Somebody might drop some food off to you. Your mom might call you and say, I thought about you today. I bought this shirt for you. There's always a way that God will show. He's always been there. And he will always give you what you reap. So continue to treat people nice. Continue to keep, and I keep saying nice. Just don't go overboard with the niceness. Continue to treat people kind. Continue to speak up to people. Continue to keep helping. People might think you're doing too much, but it's working in your favor because you're honest. Sometimes honesty, for those who feel like because you're so honest that it always flip back on you, God is telling you at that time, know when and when not to speak up. You can hold the truth from within. You can be as honest as you possibly need to be. But there are certain times when you need to speak that truth or show the honestness of your heart. Because when you're being honest and God is already helping you out the situation, or when God has already shown or blessed you in the situation, your honestness can cause self-sabotage and you can get in trouble. So God needs you to find a balance on how much you can give, how much honest truth you walk in. And I mean this by evaluating and withdrawing and not and when not to talk with everything and then God find valuable and redeemable, knowing when to and then it's easy. But there's a because I mean, there's a balance. You're already being blessed for being you, but there's a balance. He needs you to be able to see. I have great faith in you. I am very proud of you. I am very happy. Even with all our troubles, my joy has no limit. Continue to push past the negative feeling of what. Hold on to the joy that God give and fulfill your heart with. In those moments, you'll see those moments, those burstful moments of thank you, God. I feel so grateful. I am so thank you, God. In those moments where He show you, I got your back. That you haven't done nothing wrong, and that I'm rewarding you with more smiles, more love, more fulfillment in your heart space because of who you are and what you do, what you've done and what you've gone through. This was being given to me in my spirit. Continue to give freely to others. Brothers and sisters, we want you to know about the grace that God has given to the churches of Macedonia. They have suffered a great deal, but their joy was more than full. Even though they were poor, they gave very freely. Continue. You might not can't help nobody pay no bills. You might not can't give nobody no money. But just you showing up and being the listening ear can be the fulfillment that is necessary for them to get motivated and out the funk that they have been feeling. This is why God needs you to continue to be yourself and know that you're giving enough. And if you ever feel that you're not doing enough, God will give you the motivation you need, the spark of faith you need, the spark of joy you need, the spark of energy you need, the spark of strength you need, the spark of courage you need to be able to go get it. So that way you won't ever have to be in a space where you cannot provide it. See why we are used to help each other. This is important. You continue to keep showing up. And there's a logic to your madness. They say we speak the truth. We serve in the power of God. Who we are is truth. Continue to walk in that. Fight for that. Okay. Thank you, God. If you are a crier, you always cry. They always say you cry too much. Hi. They always say you cry too much. You always cry. You always nagging. You are determined to be heard. You are determined to be heard. And that's the only way that you can be able to stand in your truth until you feel you are seen. Don't give that up. Don't give that up. There's a logic to your madness. Believers, believers from us, to you, from your heart. If you will get back, you get to giving what you give back. God trying to have you uplift your vibrations, your energetic field. So you feel getting joy continuously. Get what you sow. Reap what you sow. When I showed you every being of you, even if you haven't spoken, I heard you. I heard you. Your spirit was speaking too loud to me. I ignore you. It's time now because you continue to walk this way. Now I can. That is the sacrifices you had to make to endure in your life. Thank you, God. So all God's believers believe this and know this. So we are Christ's official messengers. It is as if God were making his appeal through us. Here's what Christ wants us to beg you to do. Come back to God by you showing up. You helping people change in their lives, even if you don't get the credit. The glory of God reign on you because God is good. Even if you don't speak about him so much. Just you showing up in the character ways that you are leading them through you. Leading them, you are to them, to him. God, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful message. I've been reading out of 2 Corinthians chapter that want to follow up. Just know that there's a message for you that God is going to enlighten you with to spark a piece of joy and happiness within yourself. Blessings, peace, and love to you all. I pray you all have a great day. A part of me feel like I should still keep going. I hear you. It's time to play. The daily sacrifice and the hated thing that destroys will be set up. After that, there will be 1,290 days. Blessed are those who wait for the 1,335 days and reach the end of them. Just keep showing up. That's the message. Continue to keep showing up. Okay? Blessings, peace, and love to you all. I pray you have a great. Thank you for liking, sharing, and thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. For those of you that have sent me emails, I will continue to reach back out to you. I am a professional life coach. Anyone that sent anybody wants to me become a member for here, you will get what is needed for you to grow. I thank God for using me as a vessel. You keep being used as a vessel. You know why? Because God will need you to keep showing up. No matter how hard, you will be vindicated. You will be rewarded. And it's not just talking financially. I'm talking about with more fruits of the Spirit to where activity won't bother you. You won't even think the same. You won't walk the same. You can't talk the same. Because you're constantly leveling up and you're constantly growing. It's time to go. Blessings, peace, love.